Hello, Banshees and boyfriends. My name is TBSKine, and there's been a lot of stuff going on in the Rune King universe. Oh, hello, by the way, face reveal, this is what I really look like. Don't worry about it. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the League of Legends universe with the Rune King reveal and, like, Soul getting ripped out of Senna. God knows what else. There are previous videos on my channel, on Nikrit's channel, and on my current guest Dinka Kay's channel discussing all of the lore stuff that's been going on in the background of League of Legends recently. So I thought we'd get together and have a little bit of a discussion about where we think all of this is going. What does the Rune King want? What's going to happen with the Ruination? And what the hell is going to be happening in the Ruined King game? But first, hey, Dinka, you should say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dinka Kay, aka Tenebrix, and I am here. Hi.
Dinka does some fantastic reaction videos. You should check out the one she did when the Ruined King was real. That was very fun. And she also streams, and that is generally a good time if you're looking for something to do. So, Ruined King cinematic. Lucian, Senna hanging out on a cliff top somewhere. Senna with a spirit inside her who's probably going to turn out to be at least part of the Ruined Queen. The Ruined King shows up. He claims her. What do we think his actual plan is?
So, first of all, I love the fact that when the Ruined King appeared with like the entire spooky mist around him and everything. That in the story before we watched the cinematic, in the story itself, she was like 100% sure it was Thresh, but like in the cinematic, she just like. It's like as if she already accepted, like she knew who that was. She knew what the mist was and who is in the mist. Like she wasn't surprised when she saw him. So obviously this entire thing is happening after the story. And after she already accepted Isolde as part of her and basically is now trying to defeat the Ruined King because he is an obsessive ex-boyfriend. So I have a feeling that Isolde is only Isolde is kind of like ripped, like her soul was kind of like ripped and is like all over Runeterra, or at least like her physical form is in the Shadow Isles while her soul is inside of Senna.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing, because we got those voice interactions with Yorick where Viego at least seems convinced that the Maiden of the Mist is Isolde, or some part of her anyway. And when he picks up Isolde's soul from Senna, he doesn't like go, "Oh, my queen, I have found you, let me simp for you." He just kind of smiles and goes, "Haha, phase one of my plan is complete," and then he walks off. So it feels to me like Senna probably only had part of Isolde. And he's gonna have there's gonna be a thing where he's gonna like be looking for the rest of her somewhere. Like he's got some phase 2 or phase 3 of his plan. And that's probably gonna be explored in the Ruined King game. I really hope Yorick shows up in that one.
Oh my god, yes, please give my boy some screen time. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of like disappointed with the fact that we've had this entire like Ruined King campaign going on, like cinematics galore, everything's happening, but we haven't seen Yorick or like Maokai, anyone who actually is an OG Shadow Isler. So like we haven't seen any of them, and it kind of sucks because like Senna is literally the youngest out of everyone. Like Yorick's entire lore surrounds around the Ruined King. Like his entire being is to defeat the Ruined King.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing that if you check his quotes, in some of his quotes when he speaks to the Maiden, first of all, the Maiden refers to herself as we. So that's interesting because like she always says, Yorick, join us. Like she always talks about us, about we. Another thing about Yorick is that he speaks, when she like tries to lure him in and bring him into the mist, which by the way, for those of you who don't know, he can't be fully possessed by the mist because he has a vial of the water of life around his neck that keeps him alive. So she wants him to take it off so she'll be able to possess him. And it just doesn't work. And he wants to defeat the Ruined King, release the souls, and then die peacefully. Like literally all he wants to do is just die at peace after like defeating the Ruin King, which is very depressing but sweet at the same time. The thing is that in one of the quotes, he tells her that when she says like join us or like find peace, so he says I will right after I release you. So he is aware of the fact that the maiden is trapped. That's what we get from his quote. So the maiden is trapped. We don't know how many pieces are to the maiden, but we know that she's trapped. We know that Yorick wants to release her. The way that he also interacts with the maiden, he's not being like toxic or mean or like, you know, angry at her.
No, he's sympathetic.
He's very sympathetic, yeah, and he's just like very respectful of her and kind of like speaks to her as if like she's a child in a way, you know, like very soft-spoken. So that's extremely interesting, and I really, really, really hope that we'll be able to actually experience that in the Ruin King game. They did say that there's going to be Easter eggs, so hopefully we're really gonna get that, because I want me some Yorick.
Yeah, we saw Maokai in some promotional art for the Ruin King game, but we know that, like, presumably Maokai and Yorick are not going to be playable. I'm hoping that there's a point where we go to the Shadow Isles, and then we get to interact, like, Hecarim is a boss fight, and we get to kick Thresh's ass. That's going to be long overdue. And then Yorick shows up at some point, like something has to happen. Like, you can't have a Ruined King story about the Shadow Isles and not have Yorick and Maokai in it. Maokai is the spirit of the Shadow Isles. Yorick is like the guy who's been fighting the darkness for the longest. You have to have them. And it's like, and I can't help but look at the Ruined King game and be like, oh yeah, so Yasuo, Ahri, and Braum, sure, they're playable, but not...
I'll never understand that, really. Like, besides the fact that we know that Illaoi simps Braum hard, like,
yeah. I mean, I fully support just bringing Braum over so Illaoi and him can get it on.
Oh my god, yes.
I fully support that. It's just, you know, maybe also have some of the Shadow Isles champions at some point, hopefully. Oh, well.
Yeah. So there was this one part in the Ruin King cinematic when we saw Maokai. First of all, I was really, really happy because, like, oh my god, please let him be part of it. The thing is that, like, Maokai is more than a spirit, right? Maokai was the one who created the Blessed Isles to begin with, and he did that big mistake of allowing humans onto his land, because we all know that once you bring humans onto your magical land, it will all go to shit.
It's almost like there's some kind of environmentalism metaphor going on there. Ooh.
Yeah, well, I mean, in Ionia, it's the complete opposite, because they always talk about balance. But you have, like, but in Maokai's story, it's the complete opposite. You have this, like, savages come in and, like, destroy this entire land because greed and obsession and bad intent. I hope to see Karthus there.
Yeah.
A boss fight. That would be really interesting.
That would be awesome.
That would be epic. Another thing that would probably want to see is Ryze.
Yeah, because the Ruin King has that voice line with him.
Yes!
You opened the way to the waters, whatever the heck that means.
Yeah. So, So I've been thinking about it a lot. Obviously, I was talking about that a lot on the stream, but the only one that has connection to Ryze, that has a connection to the Blessed Isles, is his Master Tyrus. And I don't see how Ryze has a connection to that land, because technically, like, if Ryze will step onto that land, like, Thresh will have him. Like, yeah. That's just how it works. This is Thresh's realm. You can't just, like, walk around there unless you are Elise and have a business
unless you have protection from Vilemore, yeah.
Spider god, yeah. So I wonder if we're gonna have her too. I mean, we've seen all of the nations, right? We had Noxus get destroyed. We got Demacia. We got Ionia. Everyone just, like, they got hit. Besides Shurima.
We're missing Shurima, Ishtal, Targon, and Piltover and Son.
I mean, Targon would make sense that it won't reach there because, like, it's all the way on the other side of the map.
And, like, there wouldn't be.
But Ishtal, like, it's literally right next to Bilgewater and Piltover.
Yeah. I'm curious. Because the thing I think, like, in the cinematic we see after the battle, Poppy and Vayne, they go out and they find this glowing sigil in the ground, which is the sigil of the Light Sentinel. So I think it's probably like a vault of, like, there's artifacts or some magical thing down there connected to the Rune King, and the Light Sentinels are like, we'll seal it away so it can't hurt anyone. But then, like, the Rune King comes along and makes it explode, and that's what causes the ruination. So maybe the thing is, like, that's what the people in Demacia and Noxus, they're gonna have their own quests to, like, destroy whatever artifact the Rune King is using to spread the ruination. Because it makes sense that the Immortal Bastion would have some connection to him, because of Mordekaiser gathering magic artifacts and being, like, a undead warlord.
I mean, yeah, but, like, Mordekaiser is in a realm of his own. He's, like, in a limbo, this, like, Valhalla that he created for himself. So he doesn't really have a connection to the Shadow Isles, even though his aesthetic matches it perfectly.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, if Mordekaiser is looking at the Rune King like, bitch, you stole my move! What the fuck? I spent all this time making a plan to take over the world with the undead, and you just show up on... No!
I'll tell you what, also, like, it's really interesting because the sigil, right, the Sentinel sigil, it was on top of the Immortal Bastion. Who the hell had access to the top of the Immortal Bastion?
Yeah. Only really Swain, LeBlanc, Mordekaiser, like, higher-ups in Noxus.
Mordekaiser can travel, like, he can get out. Oh, wait. Oh my god, I just realized something. So, when the harrowing happens, right, when the harrowing passes, that is the only time where Mordekaiser can live his realm.
Interesting. Yeah, because I wonder, like, because it would be weird to have two big villains sort of part of the same storyline, but it's equally weird not to have Mordekaiser do anything, I feel.
Yeah. And I mean, it's on top of them. I mean, they wouldn't be putting Noxus onto there and, like, showing the Immortal Bastion on such a huge screen if, like, that was not the case.
Yeah,
like, this
that's
is,
the
like,
thing is, like,
sketch.
the Immortal Bastion is Mordekaiser's thing. He still has access to it. So, curious.
Because if I remember correctly, it was in Shadow and Fortune when they were, like, pointing out at Mordekaiser, somewhere in his lore where it said that when the harrowing comes, like, once a year, or, like, at least back then it was, like, once a year. Now we know that it's, like, it happens every now and then, and it only gets worse every single time it starts. That he can roam the land because he's a spirit, right? Like, all the spirits can just kind of live. I also wonder if those spirits got something to do with Azakanas in Ionia, because we've seen Karma.
Yeah,
and, I mean,
I'm
he
curious.
is an evil spirit.
Because, like, the Azakana will be connected to the demons, specifically. And I think they're a different thing from the undead. But, like, yeah. Like, because that's the thing I wonder is why Karma? Like, it's like, why does Karma specifically get attacked? Because, like, again, Immortal Bastion makes a certain degree of sense. Mordekaiser, undead artifact, whatever. Demacia, the Light Sentinels are there. They have connections to the undead. But then it's just, like, Karma in her, like, her sanctum in Ionia, just randomly getting attacked by undead. So why her? Is it just to promote the skin?
I don't think so. I think it's Karma because Dara, the host, right?
Yeah.
She's the one who holds on to Karma. But Karma is supposedly supposed, like, to be that massive spirit that holds all of Ionia. So if you can corrupt Karma, can't you, like, technically control all of Ionia and its magic?
Yeah, certainly you'd have a lot of access to Ionian spirit power, which, again, that might be part of the Rune King's plan. Maybe he needs all that Ionian spirit magic to bring Isolde back to life or something. Because that's the thing, like, we're getting Isolde as a champion. We know this.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
they did, like, 15 puns about, like, doing tailoring and stitching things together.
Yeah.
And we know Isolde was, like, a tailor's daughter. And we have the teaser for her, which is, like, that needle and thread where the symbol on the thing is the same as the symbol on the Ruined King's ring. Yeah. So, yes, the Ruined Queen is coming to League of Legends at some point. But the question is, how does she get a body to be a champion with, or at least become an independent entity that can be a champion? That'll presumably be the plot, is like the Ruined King is trying to bring her back, and then he brings her back, and then she's like, no, fuck you, and starts fighting him.
Well, she's also going to be a mage top, which I think is very, very exciting because we haven't really had one. Well, I mean,
Yeah, when's the last time we had an AP top laner? That's
Well, Mordekaiser was like the last AP top lane that we technically had.
yeah, and he was more of a bruiser.
Yeah, exactly. So we have like an actual like top mage top lane, which is extremely exciting. I also like wonder what kind of weapon is she gonna hold on to.
Yeah, if her whole thing is gonna be about tailoring and stuff,
Yeah,
sewing stuff together, maybe she can make little minions out of cloth, like little dolls or puppets. I've been wanting a puppet master champion in League of Legends for ages. That would be cool.
Yes, kind of like a necromancer, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the only necromancer that we have technically is
Yorick.
Yeah. I also I really want to see the relationship that she's going to have with Yorick. Because
Yeah.
technically she's been with Yorick for a really long time.
Yeah, and Senna too. It'd be curious to see the voice lines and interactions she'd have there.
Right? So.
But if the Maiden of the Mist is Isolde, the question is Yorick, are they gonna give him a new ultimate, or are they just gonna be like, nah,
No.
the rift isn't canon, don't worry about it?
No, I think they will work something around it, maybe her soul is trapped inside the Maiden, so once he's gonna release her, it's gonna be fine, but he's still going to have it. I mean, even if in the story they do defeat the Ruined King, we're still going to have the Ruined King in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So
because the
there's
rift
that.
isn't canon anymore, and hasn't been for a while.
No. So I just want to understand one thing. Why did Isolde kill the Ruined King?
Yeah, according to the lore, he put her into the blessed waters of the Blessed
Right.
Isles, the life waters, which are the same thing that power Yorick, and the same thing that keeps Yorick safe from the mist, and the same thing that powers Maokai. And then she was like, oh shit, I've been dead and now I am revived, and that's a very confusing, scary thing. So she turns into this terrifying banshee and stabs him in the chest with I think with his own sword, pretty much.
Yeah, with his own sword it was, yeah.
So I think it's probably just oh, holy fuck, I'm alive. Ah! Just being in pain and suffering and being terrified. It's probably what made her stab him.
I don't know if she would be I mean, yeah, they said something along the lines that she was very confused and everything, but I think she would be more angrier with him.
Yeah.
What if this entire relationship wasn't good to begin with? What if he, when he saw Isolde being the little merchant girl that she is, little peasant girl, he brought her in, but she didn't want to be with him.
Yeah, it's
But he
hard to say
can
no
do
to a
it.
king who wants to marry you.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
And that's the thing is
So-
I think you're right about that, because his whole character and his whole character design is very much your toxic emo boyfriend. That's
Yes.
very much what he's designed around.
The
Just-
ultimate fuckboy.
yeah, he's got more red flags than the Chinese army. He's absolutely he's obsessed with her, but he's also clearly just a piece of shit about it. And he
Yeah.
doesn't seem to remember that she stabbed him to death
Yes,
when
there's
he
that
tried to revive
part.
her.
Right. Another thing is also the way that she speaks about him to Senna.
Yeah.
She refers to him as a child.
Yeah.
She
She doesn't have a lot of good stuff to say about him.
Yeah, so I mean, if you were madly in love and everything, you would say something along the lines of we need to, he is possessed, I want my husband to
Yeah.
be at peace, but he can't
We
find
can
it
talk
because-
sense into him. We can but she
Yeah,
doesn't seem
but
there's
no.
no point talking to him. Kick his ass.
Yeah, she's just Senna, I'm on your side.
Yeah.
And, she literally screamed when he pulled her out of Senna. So, yeah, I don't think she wants to be with the Ruined King. I don't think she wanted to be with the Ruined King in the first place. Another interesting thing is, when I was talking about this stuff on Twitter, someone mentioned the fact that he's delusional, and Jared, the father of this creation, we know.
Oh yes, it's very much a Jared creation.
He said he just he kind of he put a little thinking emoji. So obviously he's delusional. Even in his interaction, in the voice interactions, we see when he says I'm doing everything for you, Isolde. Can't you see? Look at all this that I'm doing.
Yeah, when
for
he does
you.
a pentakill, he's like, I did it for you. I murdered all these people. Love me, please.
And on top of that, he has that one part when he's I can hear her say, save me, Viego. Like,
Yeah.
please, like, I need you to save me. And it's like,
No,
dude,
she's like screaming to get away from you.
No, he's running on fucking Shadow Isle bath salts, and this is just not doing anyone good. Like, he's delusional as fuck. So we clearly have this, like, massive, weird relationship thing going on. Also, it's really cute because you have this, like, married couple that is actually having, like, the worst obvious relationship, and Isolde, like, being part of Lucian's and Senna's relationship now because we have like a second wife now.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to help them and trying to mend them because in the story when first Isolde spoke to Senna was going into this like really dark place in her head where she was just like about to give up and not like just doesn't want to do anything anymore, and Isolde was like convincing her to like stay with her and like believe in herself and her husband, and it was really cute. It was really sweet to see this type of interaction. So she appreciates Senna and Lucian, and she wants to defeat her ex-husband.
Yeah.
And she's also somewhere next to Yorick, so there is that part.
Yeah. I wonder if the Maiden of the Mist is like the angry part of like the Wraith, the Banshee, the thing that stabbed Viego to death. And then the spirit that's inside Senna is like her soul and her kindness and her like, I wonder if that's the split.
The spirit that's like Yorick's Maiden, she has like 4 hands.
Yeah.
So there's like 2 parts of it. Like what if there's like a physical body, but there's something else there?
Yeah. I'm curious. Because it could be that there's more parts of her that we just haven't met yet, like even.
Right? It has to do something with that. Like, it has to be part of it. Going back to the sigils, by the way. The Sentinel of Light.
Oh, yes. The champion they're announcing.
I don't know if he's going to be a good guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a good guy. What if he is actually a psycho that wants the Ruined King to take over the world or some shit like that?
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I could see like he's like a Sentinel of Light is like, oh, the world has forgotten how much they need us, and then he wants the ruination to happen so he can prove how much of a big hero he is.
Yeah,
like that would make sense. It would be cool to have a like an evil, like an obsessive, crazy Sentinel of Light, sort of as a counterpoint to Lucian and Senna, who are such good guys.
Exactly, because like it won't make sense to have like another Sentinel of Light to be like just like
who's just
Lucian
nice, who's just like a good guy.
And
that's true.
Yeah. Also, I wonder, like, with everything that's going on in Demacia right now, is it happening before Silas? After Silas?
It must be happening during, because I believe the timeline that they're working with is that, like, the Mage Rebellion and the stuff that Silas going to the Freljord, that's happening right now, as it were. So the invasion of the undead would be happening during the Mage Rebellion. So like Demacia is having a time.
So like on the northern side of Demacia, they're dealing with Silas and like Galio and everyone else. And on the other side, we have Vayne and Poppy. I wonder when exactly are we going to see Shyvana and all of this, because we know that Shyvana got ruined.
Yeah, it's like she's getting a ruined skin, and Draven is getting a ruined skin, and we don't know if they're gonna be canon.
Which makes sense, because like, look, when he was trying to take over Darius's mind, obviously he's not gonna be taking him. He's got a really strong head.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what's up. He won't let some fucking twink boy take control of him. But Draven
is like
he's not the smartest.
No,
okay?
You can mind control Draven pretty easily, I think.
Yeah. So I think that's exactly what happened. Also, can we talk about Samira and Darius and that cinematic?
Oh, it's so
that
good.
Was absolutely glorious.
My girl Samira.
Oh. They looked so good. It's like it's watching my parents having a moment. It's just like it's so beautiful. They're just so perfect. It's also really cool because technically, like, if you see like Samira's interaction with like the rest of the Noxians, especially Swain and Darius, she talks mad shit. Like she talks so much shit to them. It's like I don't care about Darius and Swain. Like, who gives a fuck about them? But then Darius hits her across the freaking field to like protect her, and then she fights him to like get his shit together. And then like we have that little moment when she like comes behind him, like puts her tiny little paw on his massive broad shoulders. To be Samira.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little jealous there, are we?
My God. Ugh, no, it's okay. If anyone can take him, it's her. I'm not gonna fight her. I can't fight her. She's gonna destroy me. I'll accept my fate. It's fine. But that was like hella exciting. That was super, super cool. Another thing that I was wondering in all of that like Noxan thing. So, where's Vlad?
Yeah, because the Ruin King has a definite connection to him.
Uncle Vlad, where the hell is he?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I mean, the undead have no blood, so maybe he's just not interested.
Yeah,
maybe he's just like, oh, that's not my problem. Someone else can deal with that.
Like, what? He sees that like little pillar from his living room and is like, ugh.
Just sitting there drinking like a glass of wine. Yeah, it's like,
can't be bothered.
Well, not my problem.
No. Or like, or he will actually be the opposite of it because it is still his nephew.
Yeah, I wonder. Because like,
and maybe he like, but what if he's like has a grudge towards him? Because like the way that he speaks to him, the way that Viego speaks to Vlad, first of all, extremely disrespectful.
Yeah.
He's being extremely disrespectful to his uncle. He's been an absolute ass. Yeah. So what if the uncle is not happy with it? Oh, because I'll tell you what, like in Vlad's lore, right? He was traded to the Darkin.
Yeah, presumably from wherever kingdom Viego lives in, I guess.
Yeah, because they are all in the same kingdom technically. So he was traded away. His older brother was supposed to take the throne, but he died, which is why Viego took the throne instead. So I don't think Vlad would have been very happy about the fact that he was traded away to become a Darkin slave and have his little nephew take the throne. Like, what if there's like some sort of like grudge towards him?
Yeah, I'm curious because like the voice lines for the Rune King, they read a little bit like they're just jokes, you know? Oh, uncle, it was one unanswered letter. Why are you so angry? Like it feels a little like they're just joking.
Yeah.
But there could be something.
Yeah, like that one unanswered letter. Like, what if it's actually a letter that he sent to like try to like save himself? Or
it's like, oh my God, I'm being a slave to a Darkin. Please come get me, help! And Viego is just like, I can't be. I'm busy with my girlfriend. I'm not gonna read your letter.
I'm planning my wedding over here. Oh.
Yeah, because then Vladimir would have a real grudge.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that we're gonna actually have a little bit more than that. And like with that happening at the same, like, I mean, Vlad is part of the Black Rose, right? Yeah. So he has connections to Elise, who's also part of the Black Rose, and Elise has connection to the Shadow Isles. So
yeah,
what if they're gonna plot something together? I don't know if LeBlanc is gonna be part of it.
I mean, presumably she's not going to be super happy about, like, she's been spending all this time trying to prevent another undead tyrant from taking over the world, and then the Rune King comes along.
So I had this like thing, I was like thinking about how, like, where the hell LeBlanc is, and I have a feeling that she's in Demacia.
Oh,
like, I think that the one who actually killed the king, like Jarvan III, I think that was actually LeBlanc, because nobody knew who that was, and it's a very LeBlanc thing to do.
Yeah, it's
to like secretly kill him to start shit.
I think the person who killed the king, it's gonna be either like you say, LeBlanc, someone who has an interest in weakening Demacia, or it'll have been the anti-mage faction because King Jarvan was about to sign like a law that says let's not be complete shitheads to the mages anymore, and they'd be upset about that.
Right.
But that's a valid theory. I think like the LeBlanc might be acting in Demacia right now. Could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, I'm trying to figure out why there's why is there a Sentinel sigil on top of top of the bastion?
Curious questions indeed.
What if he has some sort of connection with the Black Rose?
Oh, a Light Sentinel who's a member of the Black Rose. That would be a good villain.
Right?
That would be a good villain character. Because
that would make sense then. And so what is Swain doing while all of this is happening?
Yeah, Swain must be pretty pissed. Like, this is like...
Swain is just like, oh no, like I have
he's looking at Braum like,
hands.
How could you not tell me that this was coming?
Like, Rel is having a moment. She's on her way to Noxus.
Yeah.
So, This is gonna be hella intense.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hella intense.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why we didn't see Shurima, Piltover, and Ishtal, and like, why they didn't make it any broader, because there's already so many freaking people involved in this.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to have a major focus on Shadow Isles, Noxus, Demacia, Ionia, and Bilgewater. Specifically Bilgewater. Another interesting thing is, like, why was Karma fighting on her own in Ionia? Where was everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, probably it's because it's like her inner sanctum or whatever, so like she's the only one who's allowed to be there.
Placidium? No way. Like, it was her. Like, I'm sure that there should have been like more people. Like, Aurelia should be around there as well.
Yeah.
She was popping off last time, so like, where the hell is she now? Like, we know that Yasuo and Ahri are not there because they're like in Bilgewater having a moment of their life, but why was she there on her own?
Yeah.
It was pretty dramatic. The fact that like we've seen like Karma actually get released out of Dara and like to protect her. The question is like whether or not she managed to protect her or she, ruined.
Yeah, because like I was looking at her character model in the cinematic, and after she tears the crown off, she still has the dark eyes.
Right? That's what I was thinking as well. What if this entire skin line is like, yes, they were ruined, but then like after they defeated the Ruined King, they
come back to their senses.
Yeah. So
that could be because then
I think it's pretty canon.
Yeah, because then the Ionia storyline would be like poor Aurelia will have to fight Karma as well, because like Karma is like taken over. Oh, that would be bad. Poor girl. She's had such a hard life.
Sister, come back to me, and she's like raw. Yeah, that would be hella cool. I wonder, like, if she's gonna have like some sort of voice lines. No, they're not gonna have voice lines. That usually happens with like ultimate skins, right?
Yeah, usually. Like Riot, occasionally they've sort of toyed around with giving new voice lines to characters in response to events. Like they did update Ash's voice lines eventually.
Right.
But it's like, especially with the pandemic on right now, doing anything with voice act. Like I know some of the people who coordinate voices at Riot, and it's been like hard to do all like the voices they need for Valorant and like the lore expansions. I know that's been a hell of a lot of work for them. So I wouldn't necessarily expect anything new if it's not connected to like an ultimate skin.
I live for that Karma skin.
Oh yeah, it's like she gets to be an evil bitch. That's a good aesthetic.
Oh my god, gothic Karma. Anything with white hair. I literally simp anything with white hair. That's just how I roll.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything started with Inuyasha, and here we are. Like, it's just getting worse with every year.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if we actually think about it.
First you see Inuyasha, then you see Sesshomaru, and then you're lost.
Sesshomaru-sama. I can't. This was so perfect. Hell, by the way, I know that it has nothing to do with this, but he has a kid. So,
oh yeah, they did the follow-up anime where he has a kid now, which means Sesshomaru canonically has boned.
Yeah, and I don't remember being pregnant, so I don't understand how that happened.
Something's wrong.
Like, we're gonna have a talk.
Anyway, Shyvana.
Shyvana.
Yes. Because she has a Rune skin as well, but she doesn't show up in the cinematic. And I don't think, like, because where this seemed to happen was not anywhere near where Shyvana generally hangs out, which is with the dragons up in, like, the northwestern mountains, I think. The Dragon Guard.
Right.
So, again, there's the question of, like, how canon are the Rune skins going to be? Which they haven't really told us yet.
I mean, so if something like that happened, I assume that our flying pals, like the Demacian burb fighters, would come and descend in to like try to
the Raptor warriors, and presumably they'd call in the Dragon God eventually. Yeah.
So I think that she would actually show up, but the question is whether or not, like, is she like acting on her own, or is it like she like only if Jarvan tells her what to do?
Yeah.
Because she's kind of like Jarvan's pet dragon.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind her having a story moment where she just gets to just be pissed at Demacia and wreck some shit.
Oh my god, yes. I love it. I absolutely adore it. I love everything about it because Shyvana is so freaking pissed at everything that happens there. She's like so done with them.
Yeah.
Like in her lore, like in her like skin lore, it says that like she's hella pissed off at Demacia and she wants to destroy them and like for, you know,
for being shits
Demacia.
to magical creatures. Yeah, for
Yes.
wanting her dead, essentially.
Also, another thing is like the lore cards, right? In the lore cards, Shyvana just got released a while back, and there are some soldiers that are being extremely racist towards her.
Oh yeah. They have some really like, oh, we don't trust you, dragon kind of voice lines for her, where she's like, God damn, I'm just a person, like I'm a Demacian. I'm fighting for you. Stop being assholes to me.
Yeah, and they're just like, no, dragon phobia is a thing here in Demacia, and you'll have to deal with it.
Yeah. So she has good reason to get pissed. Like, and maybe that's the thing that lets the Ruin King possess someone, is if they have some kind of internal anger that can be turned. Which is why Karma is able to break free, because she's like the spirit of peace, essentially.
Right.
But then Draven is like, no, I want to fight everyone. I'm Draven. I want to duel. Like, he's like a glory seeker.
He lives for it. He waited for that to happen.
Yeah,
like,
and Shyvana is like, she has a lot
power.
of pent-up dragon anger. So like maybe that's the thing that'll let them get possessed. But then what makes Karma eventually get possessed the second time?
The thing with Dara is that like in the very beginning, like Dara's supposed to be like hella zen, hella woke, like hella chill,
yeah, she
right?
has that moment of like bursting out in anger.
But in one of the cinematics, like, I mean, she assisted the war in Ionia. She assisted the people in Ionia when they were fighting back the Noxians, which she was not supposed to be doing in the first place, because, like, that was not her job. Because, like, technically, she's supposed to be, like, Shen and, like, chilling somewhere in the back and being like, nah, I'ma chill here, sing Kumbaya, and count daisies. So the fact that she was there, she was fighting, she was getting really frustrated, and she just like let out that massive scream. That was not very chill and zen.
Yeah, could be. That would be an angle for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those Ruin skins. Very curious if they're canon, like, or how canon they're gonna be. Because again, like because what I wonder is, what else do we have the Ruined King game, which, given the name and given the promotion and given that we know that the heroes from Bilgewater will be traveling to the Shadow Isles, presumably that's the one where we get to fight him and defeat him and stop his plan of doing the whatever.
Right.
But I can't help but wonder if there's going to be some game modes or something where we get like a game mode set in Noxus where you have to fight back the undead invasion there, and one set in Demacia where like you have to fight back the undead there.
So here's the thing. The Ruin King game is supposed to be happening sometime after Shadow and Fortune.
Yeah.
Like, after those stories. So this is, like, before he goes and, like, takes all, like, starts shit with, like, all the freaking factions around him.
Yeah, that's true. It could be a thing happening sort of before, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that it's happening before, because it's, like, when he's still there. And also, don't forget that in Shadow and Fortune, like, Ilawi was, like, pointing out at the Horrorwing and being like, MF, shit's gonna happen, like,
yeah,
put your big girl pants on because we're about to fight. So, yeah, by the way, Ilawi and MF are like totally besties. She doesn't hold grudge against her. She doesn't give a fuck about the Gangplank. I love it. I live for it and I ship it. So anyway, moving on.
Ilawi is like, Gangplank was a good lay, but I'm not hung up on it.
No, because it was really funny, like in Shadow and Fortune, when she was like talking to her, and she's like, "You're not here because of him, are you?" And she's like, "When I have to choose between a god and some man, bitch, bye." Like, no way, are you kidding me? Here, have this. Hold on to it. It's gonna give you good fortune.
Yeah.
Yeah, like leans in with her pulped mouth full of mangoes, talking to her.
Ilawi hits it and quits it.
Oh my god.
We support a queen.
Yes. Period. So yeah, this is all definitely happening before that, and in the story, that's why they probably talking about like Easter eggs, because then it will make sense. That we will learn about what's going on in the cinematic and what's going to happen in the lore in the future after we get to play in the game.
That could be true. Yeah, that makes sense, actually, because they did say they'd put some Easter eggs about Isolde into the Ruined King game.
Right.
But presumably she's not going to show up necessarily as such if they are only putting Easter eggs in there.
And what if Ryze actually did pivot there?
Yeah, like if Ryze went there to get a world rune and that created some kind of portal or something that the Ruined King can use, yeah.
Like in the game itself, we'll actually have some sort of interaction with Ryze, which also makes sense because Ryze has that design of like, you know, the mage with the scroll, the like, you know, the usual magic man that you encounter on your way to some magical place.
Yeah,
so,
he is like the sort of the wizard who guides people kind of thing.
Yeah, so they would like meet up with Ryze, and Ryze would be like, I see. Well, what you need is this. And then they would go there.
That would make sense. That would.
Also, the fact that they like reached all the way to the Shadow Isles is quite intense because you usually can't just like reach there.
Yeah, you can't just go to the Shadow Isles like easily.
There's like spirits of whales and sharks all over the place that will like kill you. I also wonder if we're gonna have something about the Buru Island.
Yeah, because like the Bahuru can go to the Shadow Isles. We see them send that poor kid over there who gets like murked by Thresh.
I will never forget that. Like I was so mad. I was like, this is not your job though. You're a child. You're not an actual priest. Like what are you doing? And why is your mom okay with it?
Yeah, it was clearly some kind of adulthood ritual. Like it's like you have to be able to go to the Shadow Isles and come back to be a man. Which seems like a good way to just lose a lot of children.
Yes, exactly. I was so mad. I was like, what kind of mother are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why would you do that? Where's Alawi? Yeah.
Yeah,
really
presumably
like
the Bahuru and Ilawi and the Serpent Callers will be what lets the people get to the Shadow Isles. Like they probably have something.
Right.
Some magic or some kind of special ship, who knows?
What if Olaf is gonna be there too, though?
Yeah, Olaf was in Bilgewater at some point.
He was there during the Fortune. He stayed there because so he was chasing a whale all the way from the Freylords. He was chasing this massive fish.
Yeah, he was Captain Ahabbing it hard.
Yeah, so he did get to it in the end, but he ended up in Bilgewater, and that's where he kind of like spent his night, and he experienced the harrowing while being there. So that's why I was kind of like confused about Braum. Like, what is Braum doing there? Because Braum is part of the Avarosan tribe. He has nothing to do with the Winterclaw, so obviously he wasn't on the ship with Olaf chilling in Bilgewater. Like, that makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, so what the heck is he doing there? Like, why does he even go to Bilgewater?
Why is Braum there? Also, he loses his shield at some point, so there's that part.
Yeah, I mean, maybe someone stole his shield, like some pirate or something stole his shield and he came to Bilgewater to find it. That would be a reason to go.
Right. And then we have Pike! Dude, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why is Pike fighting?
Yeah, I have to imagine, like, Pike, I think, we don't know exactly what he's connected with. Like, so he connected with, like, the jawfish and the deep things and, like, the monsters that live in the ocean, but we don't know if he's specifically connected to the Bearded Lady and Nagakemoros. But I would have to imagine, like, Ilawi can probably fashion up some kind of magic to capture his spirit and force him to fight.
I mean, he would. I think he would pass the Nagakemoros trial.
Yeah, probably.
But he's technically like an undead spirit.
Yeah, he's certainly not quite living.
We actually don't know. We don't know what he is. Just like we don't know what Nautilus is, because when Nautilus reached the bottom of the waters, he was like submerged into some shit, right? There was like something. There's some magic going on at the bottom of Bilgewater, and it's also something that Alawi pointed out at some point, because like, people are not really aware of what's underneath there. Like, that's one of the scariest part about it. So, what if we're gonna see some Nautilus action too? That would be pretty cool. Because he and Pike shared the same fate, pretty much. They were both
cast into the waters and betrayed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's curious. It's cool, like, because there's a lot of like the old pirate legend stuff going on in Bilgewater, where like mystical things happen and no one knows why. Mysteries of the deep ocean. So like, I don't think it would be hard for them to come up with some lore reason for why, like, oh, Pike has decided that the Ruined King is bad because he's the ultimate captain. Oh, he's the captain of all the undead. Well, I kill captains, so.
Wait, what if Gangplank's gonna show up? Wait, how the hell did he not kill Gangplank?
Yeah. I mean, Gangplank, I guess, is just tough enough to survive.
Wait, how did he not kill MF?
Yeah, because, like, he's definitely gonna want to kill Misfortune. Like, so it's a thing of you need to find a justification for why he's putting that off for the moment.
MF is, like, the captain. She's, like, the queen of the harbor now. So, why is he there? Why is he chilling there?
Yeah, I'm excited to find out. Like, I really hope I can get to talk to some of the writers on the Ruined King game, because I want to know what's going on.
Dude, this is so intense. This is so intense.
Yeah, it's a different. Like, I've been a League of Legends fan for years, and it's never been that much lore happening in the game as there is right now. That much is definitely true.
I just know it's going to be extremely epic. We're gonna have a lot of things that, like, going to make, like, besides the spirits, we're gonna have a lot of demons mixed up in that. We have to have demons mixed up in that. 100% we're gonna do that. Jared is a demonologist. We're gonna have demons in it. Like, he is behind, like, right now, like, he's helping out with the Ruined King game.
Yeah.
He made the Ruined King. He loves his demons.
Oh, he does love his demons, that boy.
So we definitely will probably see some demonic encounters.
Yeah.
Also, like, what is Fiddle and Nocturne doing right now?
Yeah. Because, like, yeah, the Ruined King has a voice interaction with Fiddlesticks, specifically saying that once I've killed everyone, you're gonna go back to sleep because you have nothing to eat. So, yeah, we don't really know about Nocturne.
He's not even scared of him.
No.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
I guess once you're dead...
Well,
it's probably hard to be scared of a fear demon.
Delusional, dead, yeah, all of the above, yep.
Yeah, curious. And that's the thing is, like, League of Legends has, like, 150-something champions at this point, so there's always the question of, like, well, hang on, but why is that guy not there? Like, what would Shen be doing while Karma is fighting the undead in the Placidian?
I think Shen and Zed are, like, still, like, obsessing over Jhin. I think they're, like, I mean, Jhin has been locked up, like, in the comic, so that was
fine. They've captured him.
But what if Jhin escapes now during this?
Yeah. Or maybe Shen and Zed are just busy hate banging. Who knows?
I'll tell you what, like, the Harrowing, so it's reached all the way to the Placidium, which is, like, literally the northest part of Ionia. The thing is that Jhin and, like, Zed and everybody else, they're, like, on the southern part of Ionia. They're, like, somewhere around, like, June or, like...
Yeah, around the same cities that Zed is operating in.
Yeah. Galrin Island, I think that's what it was. Galrin Island. That's, like, where they have the
prison?
Azkaban. The Ionian Azkaban. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's there. So I wonder if he'll, like, be able to, like, escape during that time, because that would be, like, pretty epic.
Probably. Like, they need Jhin to go free again so he can keep being a creepy serial killer all over the place. Right. So we know the Ruination is coming. We know the Ruined King is gonna do his thing. We have the Ruined King game. Presumably there's some game modes coming. The question I have is whether they're gonna be publishing lore stories, like whether they're gonna be maybe comics or more cinematics coming.
Definitely more cinematics, especially,
yeah, I would imagine,
like, I
right?
think the closer we'll get to the Ruined King game, we're gonna have more cinematics. Stories, definitely. The lore department has been, like releasing stories after stories lately, which makes me very, very happy. Like, I'm extremely happy that we get, like, this many stories. But also there's, like, this there's something that you should probably notice. Usually there's, like, a lore story would come out and something will happen right after. So let's say, like, we have Vlad, right? They released, like, a Vlad story, and then, like, Vlad would get the skin, or there's going to be, like, an event that has Vlad in there,
they
like,
usually
right? They want to
release
pick
them
your
for
interest.
cross-promotion and stuff.
Yes. So, like, I think that this next upcoming several stories that will come out are going to be really, really interesting, because it will definitely give us, like, a little something extra to think about before, like, I don't know, the cinematics come out or the game itself comes out.
Yeah, and imagine there must be a cinematic plan for, like, wrap-up. Like, once the Ruined King event, as it were, in the game, which is happening, because the Ruined King's crown is literally the symbol of Season 11.
Right.
So, like, at some point, they must do some kind of follow-up animation showing what happens at the end. Like, showing how the Ruined King gets defeated, or how this thing gets resolved. It's like, at least that, and I would imagine there's probably also a cinematic specifically to introduce Isolde as a champion, because she's going to be coming out before the end of the season, for sure.
Yeah, I'm so excited about Isolde. Oh my god, she's
Yeah,
gonna be
I'm
such
really
badass.
curious what she's gonna
be
look out.
So cool. She has to be hella cool.
Yeah.
I really hope that she's gonna be not a conventional skinny girl.
Yeah, that would be
really
nice.
Hope that would be the case.
I don't have a lot of hope for it, unfortunately. Riot hasn't shown any, like, since Illaoi, pretty much, they haven't really shown any inclination towards body diversity whatsoever.
The Riot. It's about time.
Yeah, it would be nice, like, to have, like, just, like someone who's just not the same body type as Syndra and Shyvana, Irelia and Janna, and like Vayne and Lux, and like just like 38 of women who have exactly the same body in League of Legends. I think we're good. Like, we have enough. I like them. They're hot. They're beautiful. They're pretty. But you can have other stuff too. That's also hot and beautiful and pretty.
Yes, we need some diversity in there. Yeah, and I also I'm going to say the same thing about the men, because as much as I do appreciate my skinny
hot topic boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes. I would actually love to have someone on the bigger side that is not Gragas.
Yeah.
And it's like the one big champion that also happens to be a ginger. Like, can we have how about we gotta have a ginger, big boy or
like
girl?
it's Misfortune and Gragas are the only redheads, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Unless we're counting in skins, so there's Nidalee.
Yeah, there's
and,
redheaded
others.
skins everywhere.
Yeah, Coven Morgana.
Yeah.
Yeah, nut. So hopefully we're gonna have some of that. I really hope so. But then again, it all depends on, who pays more money. And right now, it's China. So
yeah, I mean,
we can't compete with that and their needs.
I mean, given the way that Western gamers respond every time I bring up the idea, hey, what if there was a lady who wasn't skinny? And so many people just lose their fucking minds in the comments over the mere suggestion that a woman not be skinny. How dare you, sir? That is propaganda.
Really?
It's they go. I've had some nuts comments from people about I suggested, for example, with Morgana and Kale, where Kale is all about military. I'm training my body, being strong. And I say, okay, so maybe Morgana can be the opposite of that. Maybe she can be chubby. Maybe she can be someone who's not constantly punishing her own body or being hedonistic, indulging herself. Yeah. Maybe she could be a little fat. And the comments were just wall to wall with people ew, that's disgusting. How dare you? You can't see it on the little avatar, but I'm my head in my hands just thinking about it. So so I don't think it's just China necessarily. I think Riot is also conscious of just how much bullshit they'd get from Western gamers if they did that.
That's actually pretty, I mean, we have games Overwatch, where you have a lot of character and diversity, whether it's racial diversity or physical diversity. So there's I don't see a reason why they won't have that. Especially now we have Lilia, right? And she has adorable Scottish accent.
Yeah.
So what if we can have someone like that? A bit bigger size, not a deer, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a human. Make it of a Staya. Would appreciate another, more monsters in the game to begin with. Can we have another Fiddle? I would really appreciate that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, because in terms of the men, it's been Aphelios, Set, and now the Ruin King.
Aphelios, Set, Yone.
Yeah. It's been a lot of hot, handsome, skinny boys and shirtless sort of buffed. I appreciate that. I can see the argument of we have enough fan service for the straight dudes. Let's get some fan service for the ladies and the gay dudes as well. I fully appreciate that, but it's that if you really want to do fan service, body diversity is the way to do it, because there's a lot of people who are into more than just the conventional thing.
Works.
Yeah, that's the thing to note is every Rioter I've ever talked to, talked to about these things is saying, yeah, no, we want to do that. When they do pitches, when they suggest stories, they want to have more more canonically queer characters. They want to have more body diversity. They want to do more of more different stuff. But the reason why that doesn't happen is because, management prefers to do things that increase the stock price.
But it's true. That's just how, I mean, Seraphine kind of happened like that. So.
Yeah, Seraphine is a good example of that kind of thing. Where people, like, where I've been worried, like, they've announced that they're doing a champion update poll, and Skarner was one of the options on it. And I can't help but think, like, if they update Skarner, it's probably going to be the thing like, the Brackern? No, they don't. Brackern? Crystals? Nah, that's not a thing that... He's just he's a magic scorpion who's made of hextech or something. It's like, Seraphine? No, she didn't do anything.
The worst part about this, like when I saw what they said, like why they want to make the change for Skarner, I was livid. Because, like, it was like, okay, we want to update him because we want to update his, his design. We want to update him because we want this. But no, they said, like, Skarner's, like, crystal fantasy is generic?
Yeah, that's a weird way to phrase that, because it's like, I can't think of another video game where you can play as a crystal scorpion who sings to his people in order to, like...
And it's, like, not exciting at all, and it's like, okay, so, well, like, what are we gonna do? Like, what do you plan on doing? Do you... Like, are we gonna change Camille's entire backstory? Like, she's not going to have an entire freaking crystal company in the middle of Piltover and have, like, a massive mafia just thanks for that?
Yeah.
Like...
It was a very weird phrasing, because, like, I can see, like, the idea of Skarner's gameplay being a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Like, because in terms of his kit, it's pretty simple. But the
Captain
whole thing...
Flowers is, like, cursing us out right now. It's like, how dare you talk to Skarner like that?
But, like, his thematic, like, being a crystal scorpion from this ancient people of crystal scorpions, like, who sing to each other and have, like, this magical song that connects them all. Like, that's cool as shit. I want more of that.
So amazing. Yeah.
Like, if anything, I want another Brackern champion. Like, but with that, I think we have reached the end of our Ruin King discussion, which I can tell because we're discussing all the other champions in the game now instead of the Ruin King thing. So,
yes.
I think we'll wrap it up here. If you have any questions or ideas about stuff that might be happening, lore theories about where things are going, leave them in the comments down below. And do be sure to head on over to Dinka's channel to subscribe to her as well, because, like, when a new cinematic and stuff comes out, I'll do the animation breakdowns. Necrit will dive deep into all the lore connections, but no one reacts better than Dinka does.
I'll just sit there and scream and simp. That's just how I roll.
It's wonderful. I fully recommend it. And thank you very much for joining me for this this little discussion video. And, you know, again, if you want to see more of these discussion videos, let us know in the comments as well, because, you know,
definitely
we can do more of it if people want it. Hey, thank you very much for watching this discussion video. If you have enjoyed it, as I said previously, like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know if this is content that you would like to see more of. And do remember to go and subscribe to Dinka Kay as well. If you would like to support this particular channel more directly, though, then you can use my Patreon, my merchandise store, or my tip jar, whichever one you please. But if you don't want to, or you're not in a position to, which, you know, is pretty common these days, please don't worry about it. It's okay. I do try to encourage people, though, at the end of my videos to, if there is content online that you enjoy, please consider supporting it directly with whatever you can, whenever you can. Because even a $1 direct donation can quite literally be the same as thousands of views on a video. So especially for smaller or niche content creators, if you enjoy their content, your direct support will make much more of a difference than you might think. Anyway, I also have to self-promote a little bit more because I have a second channel. I do Let's Plays over there. We're playing through Breath of the Wild currently, a sort of very long, slow-paced ASMR-ish playthrough. I'm playing a bunch of Hades over there, which people seem to be enjoying, and when I occasionally get it in my head to stream, that will usually also happen there. So if you're interested in any of that, you know, like, comment, subscribe on that thing as well, because, you know, YouTube, blah, blah, algorithm, etc. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to wear a mask and wash your hands, and when the vaccine comes, please take it and get your parents to take it and just make the pandemic stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go outside. And try to act in solidarity with those who are working to make the world a better place.